हम आज का अपना सेकेंड टॉपिक स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं, दैट इज मैकेनिकल प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ फ्लूइड्स. In 11th standard we already have studied what are the mechanical properties of solids. In that we have studied what is strain, what is stress and their types also. फिर हमने उसमें longitudinal stress और longitudinal strain, फिर उसके बाद वॉल्यूम स्ट्रेस, वॉल्यूम स्ट्रेन एंड shearing स्ट्रेस, shearing स्ट्रेन, ये सारी चीज़ें हमने 11th स्टैंडर्ड में पढ़ी है. अब इस टॉपिक में हम लोग फ्लूइड्स की बात कर रहे हैं, दैट इज द मैकेनिकल प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ फ्लूइड्स. सो बिफोर गोइंग अहेड वी शुड नो व्हाट आर फ्लूइड्स. फ्लूइड्स का मतलब है द थिंग विच कैन फ्लो. ओके, एनी फिजिकल द स्टेट ऑफ अ मैटर, any physical state of a matter which can flow, that is called as fluids. Now there are solid, liquid, gases and plasma are four fundamental states of matter, out of which only solid is a different thing which cannot flow. And why? Because it has its own rigidity. But compared to liquids, solids and some of the plasmas like the electrons or the neutral atoms, ये सारे जो है दे आर इंक्लूडेड इन टू द फ्लूइड्स बिकॉज दे कैन फ्लो एंड ऑल्सो देयर रिजिडिटी इज वेरी लो, और वी कैन से दैट एट सम ऑफ द टाइम दे डोंट हैव द प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ रिजिडिटी. सो एक्सेप्ट सॉलिड, these other fluids whenever are kept in any vessel, they get the shape of it. उनको जिस वेसल में हम रखेंगे, जिस बर्तन में हम उनको रखेंगे, उसे उसका शेप मिल जाता है. तो दिस इज द एक्चुअली प्रॉपर्टी. और ये रीजन की वजह से ये जो फ्लूइड्स होते हैं दे आर ऑलवेज अंडर द एक्शन ऑफ प्रेशर और फोर्स. उनके ऊपर एक एक्सटर्नल फोर्स या प्रेशर प्रोड्यूस होता है. तो ये जो टॉपिक है दैट इज फ्लूइड, इसमें हम आगे जाके विस्कोसिटी या स्ट्रीमलाइन फ्लो, टर्बुलेंट फ्लो या ये ऐसे कुछ प्रॉपर्टीज हम पढ़ने वाले हैं. तो शुरू करते हैं अपने टॉपिक. जैसे कि हमने डिस्कस किया कि फ्लूइड का मतलब क्या है, कि द फिजिकल स्टेट ऑफ मैटर विच कैन फ्लो. सो इन दिस द फ्लूइड्स इंक्लूडेड लिक्विड्स, गैसेस एंड प्लाज्मा. द एग्जांपल्स ऑफ फ्लूइड्स आर एयर, वाटर और एनी अदर ऑयल, or even molten lava is also included in the state that is called as fluids. Okay, but the properties of fluid is little complicated because it is always under the action of force or pressure gradient. That's why it is necessary to assume some of the properties called as ideal properties of fluid. So we'll discuss the one by one. The first ideal property is that it is incompressible. Incompressible का मतलब है कि the density of a fluid is always constant. So there is no change in the density whenever the external deformation is produced. Second property है that is it is the flow is irrotational. Irrotational का मतलब ये है कि the flow of fluids is smooth and constant. That means there is no turbulence in the flow. Turbulence का मतलब है any disturbance produced in the flow of liquid. Then third property is it is non-viscous. इसका मतलब यही है कि the internal friction offered by the fluid molecules is zero or negligible. That's why it is in a smooth flow. Okay, and the last property is that is steady flow. It means the flow of liquid is steady. That means the velocity of a liquid at every point remains constant. In the third property that is non-viscous, we also can say that the viscosity of liquid is zero or low. Now in 11th standard we already have studied what are the types of stress and strain. In details we have studied. Now in shearing strains you must have observed that the examples like solids of sponge or any material in which the tangential force is applied. When the tangential force is applied, there is a displacement of the layer, or that is called as lateral displacement, and this displacement with respect to the perpendicular height between the fixed layer, that is called as shearing stress. But when the external force is applied on such body, there is a reverse force by the object, that is called as resistive force of a solids. But in case of solid fluids, they only offer the resistive force in case of compressive or pressure type shearing stress, and that is also very weak compared to solids. So that is the difference between the solids and liquids. Since this is the property of fluid that they do not oppose any resistance to the deformation, hence they get permanently deformed. When they are placed in any vessel or any container, they get the shape of it because it is under the action of force or pressure gradient. Similarly, they have an ability to flow. We discussed in the last lecture that fluid, which actually includes liquids and the air, or we can say the gaseous substance. So whenever the fluid is at rest, it exerts a pressure in the container in which it is kept. For example, if we consider any liquid, or an example like a water, when it is placed inside the container, that molecules present in the fluid exerts a force on each other as well as on the walls of the container, also at the bottom region of the container. So whenever the fluid at rest exerts a force and on the wall as well as on the bottom of the surface per unit area, that is called as pressure. So we define that the pressure of a fluid at rest is defined as where it is the force exerted by liquid at rest on the bottom surface per unit area. So we can denote that P, that pressure, is equal to force upon area, where F is the force exerted by the fluid on the bottom surface of the liquid as well as on the walls of the container per unit area. Especially this branch of physics that deals with the study of fluid at rest is called as hydrostatic. It is called as hydrostasis. Okay, so hydrostatic is a branch of physics that deals with the study of fluids at rest. Now, if we take the unit of pressure will be in MKS, its unit is Newton per meter square, or it is also taken as Pascal. Okay, the MKS unit is Newton per meter square or Pascal, and in CGS its unit is Dyne per cm square. Okay, and the some of the conversion factors that we take is 1 bar is equal to 10 raised to 5 Pascal, or we can say Newton per meter square, and 1 HPA, that is a hectopascal, that is 100 pascals. Okay, the dimension for Pascal or dimension for pressure is given by, if we take the dimension for force, it is L1 M1 T minus 2 whole thing divided by L square, that is the dimension of area. So we get the dimension of L minus 1 M1 T minus 2. Okay, so I just again repeat that the fluid at rest exerts a force on the bottom surface of the container per unit area, that is called as pressure. The branch of physics that deals with the study of fluid at rest, that is called as hydrostatics. The SI unit of pressure is Newton per meter square, and CGS unit of pressure is Dyne per centimeter square, and the dimension of the pressure. So some of the times in examination they ask questions in the MCQs or one sentence answers that what is the dimension of pressure, what is the SI or CGS unit of a pressure. That. Let's move on to the next topic, that is the pressure due to liquid column. Now suppose we have a container, okay, in which we have kept an object which is of cylindrical shape. As we can see that in this container we have taken certain liquid and we have dipped the a cylindrical body inside it, and we just imagine that the height of the cylindrical body is h and let A be the area of a cross section. Also we have further assumptions that let the density of the liquid be rho. Rho is called as density of a liquid. M is the mass of a liquid and M is the volume of a liquid, that is container. So if we take the formula for density, that is mass upon volume, so we can get an equation for mass is equal to volume into density. We just note down number 1. Now when the cylinder is inside the liquid, it will exert a force in the downward direction, and the force exerted by the cylinder, that is equal to the force is equal to mass into gravity, because it will have the normal reaction from the mass of a liquid. Whatever is the downward force given by the cylinder, that is equal to the normal reaction of the liquid from the liquid to the cylinder. So we take F is equal to mass into gravity. So as we all know that the pressure is defined as, pressure of a fluid is defined as when the liquid at rest exerts a force per unit area called as pressure. So pressure is equal to force upon area. So it will become mass into gravity divided by A. Now we have already said that the mass of liquid is V into rho. Therefore instead of mass we put V into rho. Now take an example of this cylinder. This cylinder has height is equal to h and this base area is A. So the volume will be area into height. If we insert this formula at this spot, instead of V we take area into height and divided by area. So here we cancel area term. So we get the equation for pressure in a liquid is H rho G, which actually shows that the pressure does not depend on the base area of the cylinder. The pressure in the liquid column only depends on three factors, that is the height of the column, air column, then rho is the density of the liquid and G is the gravitational acceleration. Okay, is atmospheric pressure. As we all know that there is a surrounding of the earth which consists of the fluid, mainly air, which has lot of components, that is different types of airs, some of the water, then water vapors are also there. So whole the mass of this atmosphere exerts a downward force which is equal to its weight, and this force per unit area is called as atmospheric pressure. So this atmospheric pressure varies on different positions of the earth. That means it will have the maximum value on the surface of the earth, that is at the sea level. As we go above, the density of the air decreases, and beyond 8 km the density of the atmosphere is negligible. So if we wish to find the atmospheric pressure at any spot or any position, then what we take is we take the amount of weight that is exerted by the air column at that point, that is of unit cross section, that starts from that point to the extended point till which the atmosphere exists. I again repeat, if we wish to find the atmospheric pressure at any point, then we find the weight of the air column of unit cross section starting from that point to the maximum point of where the atmosphere exists. Okay, so beyond 8 km, since we are saying the density of air is negligible, so atmosphere is also less. such a place is called as vacuum, where the atmospheric pressure is negligible. Okay, so this is also concept that as we go as above on the sea level, the atmospheric pressure decreases. Okay, so it is roughly around 10 raised to 5 Newton per meter square, or we can also take 1.015 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per meter square, or equal to Pascal.